Hey guys, it's Zumpr here. I'm back with, as you can see in the title, another review grading update. Since it's the beginning of the video, I'll just tell you guys now, I'm just going to be talking. There may or may not even be music in the background, but there's not going to be like any images. So if you want to just tab out and like play Project 64 or something else, you can, or whatever you do, I don't know. But it's just going to be me talking. And this isn't, while this is a review grading update to an extent, this is also kind of like a lesson to learn for like online media and stuff. But yeah, so I'll just get into it. Basically, the point of this video is I am taking off concept from the review system and I'm putting multiplayer back in, and it's just going to be what it used to be. Story, gameplay and controls, music, selection, unlockables, and multiplayer. Those are going to be the 5 things. They're all going to be graded. And just to get it out of the way now, Piloting 64, my boy, is back on top with a 3.7 out of 5. And without the concept rating and replaced with the multiplayer rating, Pokemon Snap gets a 3.4 out of 5. So, but with that out of the way, I'll start kind of explaining why I made this change. So, June 3rd, 2017 is when I made the last review grading update. And that video came out, I guess it was a day later. I don't know, maybe a day or two later. That's what I say in the video. I don't know exact date-wise, but I made it about a day after the review because I had asked my friend Freezax, which, nothing against him, but he said that there's, and this is what I talked about this in the review grading update, which actually got like 40 views. A little side note. So I'm assuming most people watched it, or maybe I just watched it a lot. I don't know. But he said that the review system having multiplayer be a good 20% of the like a game's grade makes it to where perfect games like Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time, the best score they could ever get is a 4 out of 5. So I was like, you know what? He's right. So what if I make multiplayer a bonus for games that have it, so that way their best score can be 6 out of 5, but then games that don't have it only get like there's a 5th category that they can be graded off of, for those who don't know about this or whatever. So I added in this category called Concept, and I went along with it. I was like, okay. I applied it to my Pokemon Snap review, and it got a 4.4 out of 5. And Piloting 64 with the Concept got a 4.1 out of 5. I was like, okay. But, which I must have added some multiplayer in there, because even though both games had no multiplayer, there's no way it could have gotten a 4.4 out of 5. I don't know what my grading methods were. Anyway, I was looking back at the script, and I didn't see a multiplayer part of Pokemon Snap, so it must have been, I don't even know how I graded it. But, or I can't, I was reading through it, and I don't know where it got those extra 0.4. Or, never mind, my bad. Concept. I'm stupid. But either way, so I was going by with that, and I realized that as I'm coming, as you guys may know, I've been streaming more often, and ever since a couple days ago, maybe I think 3 or 4, whenever I made that channel update, I'm thinking more about just making videos. And so right after that, I believe I uploaded the Mario Kart 64 All Cut Versus and the highlights. And so as I was getting down and editing, I just uploaded the Fun with Friends. I was thinking, I was like, well, I have the highlights, and then after that I start the review. And I was thinking, ever since I've started streaming, you know, I've done the Conker's Bad Fur Day stream, with Anders, multiplayer fun, that was a good time, doing the Mario Kart 64 All Cup versus timed, it was a beta to see how it would work with Xanios and Vladimir about a month ago, around the same time, and then the All Cup versus, and I was like, you know, all these multiplayer experiences have been like pretty good, and I was thinking, I was like, well, maybe, especially in the Fun with Friends, it's only like 5 minutes long, but in it, you see how much dumb stuff can happen in the multiplayer mode. Like an example is, if you haven't seen the video, there's the highlight of the Fun with Friends, in my opinion, is an Anderson. I have this little pin and coax skit after it, but it's when Anderson runs into me, and he rams me through a wall. And I couldn't do that in a regular game, no matter, I mean, I haven't tried it, but I'm doubting that you could just truck yourself through a wall. But I bet if, when I was driving as fast as I could off-road, and he was driving as fast as he could, it just crushed me through there. And I went in, and I went backwards, and I tried to explain it. I'm just kind of joking around. But I was like, wow, the multiplayer is a lot of fun. And then I was just thinking of, like all the games I've played that have multiplayer, and how, like, much fun I like Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Mario Kart, Diddy Kong, like, just how much fun I've had with those games. Even if it's, like, short-lived, or, like, on the Phone with Friend with Xania's, fun fact, we recorded that, we had to leave in, like, 20 minutes for something. And so it's, like, a 18-minute long video, and, it was good. But, like, we were, like, rushed, and Xanios, that's, like, one of his, he told me he watched it. It was when we were doing the beta. Remember him and Vladimir came over. They had just seen the video, like, the day before, and they were cracking up. He was like, that's the best edited video he's ever seen. And I was like, I mean, there's better videos. But anyway, I was thinking a couple things. So that's like the part about why I want to bring multiplayer back in. Because to me, multiplayer is such a crucial part of an N64 game. And I talked about this last time, and last time I thought Freezax was kind of true to an extent. He was like, yeah, you know, that makes sense. Because, like I said earlier, a lot of games don't have multiplayer, and that means that the best score they could get is a 4 out of 5. But my thing is that, I mean, honestly, this is like my review grading system. And so, while it just, to me, I kind of like how it branches off. Nobody else relies on multiplayer that much. So, well, nobody's ever really, or they don't think that maybe this is too multiplayer reliant. It's not really, it's only a fifth of the grade. And in my opinion, a game, say you have a perfect game, like, it's not perfect, but if a game like GoldenEye beats Legend of Zelda, like 4.1 out of 5 to 4 out of 5, and that 0.1 is like, it maybe was or like a 4.6 out of 5 or something, maybe it was lackluster in one area, like there's not enough unlockables or something, and so in the end it barely just adds over, or something like that, or a really cruddy game like Chameleon Twist. That's a game that actually Freezax made a video about. That's how I heard about it. But it say it has some really cruddy mode, and so it gets like I don't know. But in the end, it adds up to barely be like just 0.1 over. Technically, according to my grading system, it's better than Legend of Zelda. And while gameplay-wise or other terms in individual areas, Legend of Zelda may blow it out of the park. If it beats it in multiplayer, and that's the reason that it beats it, I mean, that's the reason it beats it. And so, and I believe, and then, I'm not saying that this grading system is my true opinion on these games, but it's like true, kind of, because I think Pilot Wing 64 is a better game than Pokemon Snap. And according to this 5-rated system, both of them, without having multiplayer, Pilot Wing 64 came on top by 0.3, and so 0.3 points, and that's all it took. And so, and I still think Pokemon Snap's a good game, but Pilot Wing 64 is better. And so I feel like that on the old concept grading system, it wasn't like that. Pilot Wing 64 was below Pokemon Snap, and I didn't really agree with that. But I was like, you know, it's this new idea, so, or this I should keep it like this. And basically, like, what the moral thing of this, like, really is that you can, I feel like there are going to be people who always disagree with you, and I'm not hating on Freezax. I really like him, and I like his videos, and I respect him, but, and the thing is that I respected that opinion, and so I tried to adapt with it, but there are just going to be people who are like, hey, this sucks, stop doing it, or whatever. And so, like, if you really like what, and I haven't had that yet, I haven't had some crazy hater or whatever that's, like, popped up, but eventually when I hit, like, 100 or 1,000 subs, there are going to be people that pop up that say, like, hey, you suck, stop doing this, you're garbage. And all I've seen, really, is, hey, this is a really good video, keep making these videos. Like, on the All Cup, I had this guy who was like, hey, this is a really good video, you should have more subs. And, I mean, that's what I like more, obviously, but there are going to be people who like that, and I don't think I should change what I'm doing just because one person thinks it's wrong, whether I like them or not. I should just keep, because obviously what I'm doing has gotten some people's attention, but, oh yeah, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is crazy. Concept is the worst category idea I've ever made in my life. And I've only made 6, so one failed one. But I obviously didn't think concept as a grading point through that much. concept, well, people were like, okay, so multiplayer is 20%, and if a game doesn't have multiplayer, they just have 20% of their grade not missing. Like I said earlier, that's the way my grading system goes. Probably reflects the way that my opinion of the game is. This is 80% of a good game, but it's missing 20%. And I was thinking, I was like, well, as much as maybe a game won't get, they might have a guaranteed 0, so they can't get the best score possible. Some games get a guaranteed 1 added to their score out of 5 because, or every game actually, if I had kept concept, every single game would have gotten a 1, at least a 1, because every game has a concept. I mean, this really isn't like updating. It's updating the multiplayer and concept thing, but the rest will stay the same. I do want to just say that real quick. Like, I'll still grade story, music, and multiplayer out of 0, 2.5, and 5, and then the other ones will be kept. Like selection unlockables and gameplay and controls, since they're both like 2 and 1, I will keep those to like fractions, make it fun. But that's just like, I was like, concept everything. Like even on a really bad game like Micro Machines and Super Mario 64 both get a 5 out of 5 because it takes a concept to make a game. And I was like, when I was thinking about that, I was like, that's the reason I'm taking concept off. And really, there's not a fifth thing that really makes a game good to me. And I was thinking, I was like, I've seen and taken some notes from other people's review system, example, Freezax, where, you talk about story, unlockables, all that jazz, and gameplay and stuff. It's true, not a lot of people talk about multiplayer, but one thing is that a lot of people don't, like, grade games out of numbers. They grade it out of, like, how well does it stand up to, or, like, how well does it compare to today's games? And I think that's a bad comparison, in my opinion, which is why I'm doing numbers. That way they can compare to each other instead of how they compare to, like, the newer games. Because obviously, to an extent, most newer games are better. They're bitter. Are better. Like, just graphics-wise, they blow them out of the water. Now, that's why I like N64. But, it's just, they may not, like, a game like Super Mario Odyssey is hypothetically better than Super Mario 64. I enjoy Mario 64 a little bit more, but there's just more stuff to do in Mario Odyssey, just because it's newer. It's meant to be better. If it's not better, there's a problem. And so, I think that's a little bit of a flaw in the, like, in other people's review systems whenever they don't have, like, like, for example, the completionist. Now, that's a different one. That's not comparing it to today's standards. That's comparing it to, like, what you should do with it. Like, should you complete it? Should you trash it? And all that jazz. Anyway, I just want to make sure to tell you guys that multiplayer is back in the pack, and it's legit. If a game doesn't have multiplayer, it's not getting a point. And, like, I can't count pass on multiplayers. I was thinking about NASCAR 99. NASCAR 99, it's going to get a free point because, look, it has a good multiplayer. I had fun with it. There's not a lot you can do with it, but we made... From the Fun with Friends video, it looks like it was a 23-minute video that was squeezed into 5 minutes because there wasn't a lot of, like, highlight stuff. It did take some time, and I realized that we were running the races. The default, like, race time is like 3%, and we could have squeezed it down to 1% to get more tracks in or whatever. But I thought, like, those moments, as short as they were like totally hilarious. Like the bumping through the wall, the skidding, like, in cars or whatever, and then the me where I caught Anders, or where the CPU almost caught me and I cut past. I don't know. They were all good moments, and that's like on such an underrated and just unknown game like that. It's just another sports game. Me and Anders had a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys can see where I'm going with this. And of course, if you guys are like, hey, you shouldn't have multiplayer in there, why do you do this? I really do encourage you to make your own, like, videos. I'm not even lying. Like, I think I still have this in the discussion portion of my video, and in my, I think at the end of both my reviews, I have links to, like, Lightworks, which is the editor I use, OBS, which is what I use to record, or I use Elgato to record the game, but to, like, put it all together and put, like, the face cam, and I set it all up with OBS. That's also how I stream, Audacity to record audio, and Inkscape to make thumbnails. Like, I would highly suggest you guys, if you want to make videos, to do that. I mean, I just have a laptop. It's fairly new. It's like $400 because we've got it near Christmas. It's like a Black Friday thing. But I really do. I mean, I've had this since 2017, so It was a year old last year. It's still going on okay. And if you want to make 50 subscriber worthy content, this is where you need to be. Let's see how long is this video. 15 minutes. Dang. Well, I hope you guys tabbed out and didn't waste 15 minutes of your life just watching me. But hopefully I explained myself well enough, and I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying. But either way, highlights are coming out soon. Phone with Friends is already out, and the review will be soon after. I haven't even started on the review. That might be a problem. But yeah. So just thanks for watching, and yeah, go check out. I think I was talking. Check out the Phone with Friends. Check out the All Cup, and check out the Conquer's Bad Fur Day multiplayer fun. If you don't know, if you're kind of confused, why is he all up in this? Like, why does he care so much about multiplayer? Those videos, and then, or maybe, yeah, just listen to the videos. The Phone with Friends, the Conquer's Bad Fur Day multiplayer fun, and the Mario Kart highlights. Those, hopefully, will be able to persuade you if you are not already agreed. But that's about it. I want to make sure that it's April 2nd. I want to make sure, it may not be uploaded to April 2nd, but I want to make sure that this wasn't uploaded on April 1st. Thought people would take it as a joke. I did see some pretty funny April Fool's jokes on YouTube, but like video scams. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and see you guys in the highlights. Bye.